Hey guys, it's Buckets Analyst and welcome to the first episode of the NFL Fantasy Weekly Performances. I'm going to be doing this on a weekly basis, starting off with week one, obviously, and going through the 3 players who overperformed and 3 players who underperformed, according to what they were projected to get and what everyone thought and how everyone thought they were going to play. And without further ado, I guess we'll start us off. Unfortunately, no face cam today, but I will for the rest of the episodes throughout the weeks. I will be getting a face cam out. But to start us off, we have Josh Jacobs from the Las Vegas Raiders. He had a week 1 projection of like 18.2 points, and he ended up finishing with 35.9. Had a great game. Got 93 yards, which is kind of ridiculous. Had 3 touchdowns, 4 receives. It's pretty crazy. I did not expect this from Josh Jacobs. Their main running back for the Raiders. He carried the ball 25 times, so 93 yards and 3 touchdowns in the first week. They played against the Panthers. Panthers don't have a great defense, but still putting up those kind of numbers is still ridiculous. I think he's going to have a great season, and I did expect him to be like a mediocre, kind of like step up his game this year. But this first week has just surprised me out of the blue as well. He found the end zone regularly with all 3 of his scores coming from within 10 yards. Also encouraging with his involvement in the receiving game, as Jacobs failed to record 4 receptions in any contest during his rookie campaign. Jacobs is locked in to a Belco role for the Raiders and should be a key part of their offense in week 2 against the Saints. Next week he'll be playing the Saints. They have a mediocre defense. It's not amazing. It's not terrible. I think he's still going to get 1 or 2 touchdowns at least. And I think he's definitely a guy to pick up if you guys can pick him up. If he's in your free agency, which I highly doubt he is, or if you can get him off a trade, I think that would be definitely the move. Now our next player from the Green Bay Packers, we have Davante Adams. He was expected to get an 18.5 points for his fantasy. Ended up putting up 41.6, which is absolutely ridiculous. As the wide receiver for the Packers. Also to mention, they did play the Minnesota Vikings. They did destroy them, and Aaron Rodgers did have a great game as the quarterback as well. I think he ended putting up like 31 points, which is also unexpected. I was thinking he'd get around 20 points. I actually had him on my bench and had Dak Prescott starting, which was an unfortunate move. Dak only ended up putting 17 points on the board. But Davante Adams put up 41.6 points. He had 156 yards for a wide receiver. Had 14 receiving catches and 2 touchdowns. It's just ridiculous. Adams secured 14 of 17 targets for 156 yards and 2 touchdowns after they won 43-34 over the Vikings on Sunday. Adams and Aaron Rodgers had their prolific connection in mid-season from the jump, and the veteran wideout putting up a game-high receiving yardage, target, and receiving touchdown in totals. Adams' first score came on a nifty 24-yard grab near the right sideline of the end zone late in the first half, and he added 1-yard scoring catch late in the third quarter. The 27-year-old may have a difficult time topping Sunday's performance this season, but he'll have a good matchup with which to put together a strong encore effort when he and the Packers face the Lions. So next Sunday, he will be facing with the Packers the Detroit Lions at home. I think then again, he was on the road against the Vikings and now he's at home against the Lions. I think he's going to put up another 30-plus game at least, to be honest. I think he's going to get at least 1 or 2 touchdowns, maybe 100 yards at least. And definitely a guy, if you can pick him up. Now our third and final overperforming player will be Calvin Ridley from the Atlanta Falcons. He was projected to get 13.6 points against the Seahawks on Sunday and ended up putting up 33.9 points. He had 14.4 receiving yards per catch, 130 yards, 9 receiving catches, had 2 touchdowns, and he was the receiving target 12 times. Ridley caught 9 of 12 targets for 130 yards and 2 touchdowns during Sunday's 38-25 loss to the Seahawks. So they didn't win, but he still put up 33.9 points, which is actually ridiculous. He's a third-year receiver from Alabama. He looked like a league winner in week 1, matching 15% of his 2019 receiving production during his 2020 debut against the Seahawks. And again, another guy that you could pick up, Calvin Ridley. He's not a popular guy, as you can see. But if you're in a small team league and he is in your free agency, be sure to pick him up. Try him out. I definitely encourage that. And yeah, I think he's definitely a guy that will perform throughout the year. Now, to start off for our underperformers, I think this is very obvious. I had this guy starting at my wide receiver. I picked him up with my first overall pick in the draft. And that is Michael Thomas, the wide receiver for the New Orleans Saints. He's projected to get like 20 points a game and ended up getting 4.7. Now, yes, he did suffer a high ankle sprain during Sunday's 34-23 win over the Buccaneers. But he did play a little bit as well. Like, he did have his chances. He did only get 17 receiving yards. He was deep down in the end zone at times as well. And yeah, I know he just didn't perform. But that's nothing to fool you. I definitely think this guy is going to be the best wide receiver in the league again this season, as he was last season. And yeah, he did underperform, but I definitely think he's going to put up 20 points a game. Maybe starting week 3, because I'm not really sure how he's going to perform after that week, especially coming off an ankle injury. I'm not sure how serious that is, but I definitely think he will be playing week 2. But Michael Thomas, I think he's too good to keep putting those same numbers up. Now, moving on to Derrick Henry for the Tennessee Titans. He just played, the game just finished against the Broncos, I think 30 minutes ago. He did end up putting 59 yards, 18 rushing attempts, 4 receiving yards against the Broncos. He did finish with around 8 fantasy points. It hasn't been official yet, but he did finish with around 8 fantasy points. And he underperformed. He was expected to get 17.3. He's, one of the best running backs in the league, and he did underperform. He was a bit disappointing, but that's nothing to fool you. These underperformers are nothing to fool you. They're still going to perform throughout the year. Now, moving on to our final player that also suffered a sprained ankle in Monday's game versus the Giants, which is James Conner of the Pittsburgh Steelers. He was projected to get 16.3 points and ended up with 3.7. Now, yes, I did say that he sprained an ankle is going to be examined on Tuesday and try to get through his training sessions. But yeah, he didn't do much. I don't even know. His stats were like 9 rushing yards, I think. 6 rushing attempts. Yeah, it was a downfall game. It wasn't a great game, but that's also another guy that, that will be decent and, that won't happen too often. And I think it's also someone that, will weekly put up around 15, 16 points a week and be a good performer. It's just an off game for him, I guess. It was against the Giants though, so he did have his chances. They got the win, 26-16. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I think he definitely will step up. We'll see in week 2. So thank you guys for tuning in for the first episode. Unfortunately, like I said, there is no face cam. But I try to get through this episode kind of quick. Only had 3 players. I'll see what it will be like next week. If you guys did enjoy, please leave a like, subscribe. Make sure to check out all my socials. Link will be down below. Uploading an analytical content all on there. NFL and NBA. And make sure to turn on those post notifications to be sure every time I am uploading a video. Also, go check out my second channel. And thank you guys for watching. Catch you in the next one.